Welcome back to the Magic Hours. I'm Zoe Flowers, and I am back with another pick a card reading. And this one is all about Isis, the message that Isis has for you, specifically how to raise your frequency. Okay, there's a lot of things happening, there's a lot of things going on, obviously, in the world. And so, for those of you all that are attracted to this channel, I'm feeling like you are on a frequency raising journey. And so we are going to just go ahead and get this message going. All right. So you have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And I want you to just take a minute to just key into which deck you think resonates with you the most. Obviously, if you resonate with more than one deck, that's totally fine. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath in and exhale out. You can even pause the video if you want so that you can key into the proper deck even more. I'm going to play a small chime to clear the energy even more. And I will see you on the other side. Okay, so if you picked pile number 1, this is definitely the pile for you. So Isis wants you to know that life is being restored. Priestess of the Phoenix. So we know that the story of the Phoenix is burning things away, right? The old burns away and something new comes from it. And we have the scarab here, which is also a sign of regeneration. And so I'm feeling like actually doing some candle work, some candle magic could be a great way to to raise your frequency. And also maybe to print out a picture of a phoenix or get a phoenix image, statue, or even a scarab. I travel with the scarab in my car just to keep you in the vibe of restoration, of starting again. The message here is to burn away, maybe even working with the angels of the ultraviolet rays. I recently just started working with them again, working with the ultraviolet ray, the ultraviolet flame. So that could also be helpful for you at this time to raise your frequency. And we're also in this time of putting dead things to rest. So things that actually are holding you back and blocking you from your path. So it's like if you're in a job that you want to leave, before just leaving without a plan, perhaps you can click into what you actually like about it and use it until you can move on to the next thing. So it's like looking for life, looking for water, looking for what can be restored, not throwing everything out at once, throwing out the things that are absolutely dead, burying those things once and for all. But if there are things that still have life in them, look and see if you can create even more life, if that makes sense. Oh, wow. This says my appreciation of it attracts its essence to me. So so this is what I'm saying. Instead of like downing the things about your life that you don't like, the situations, etc., begin to appreciate it. So I had a house and it was difficult for me. It was my first home and I was pretty young. And it just felt like such a burden. And so I had gotten a job offer to move to another state. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just, well, even before I got that job offer, I wanted to sell the house. And my house sat on the market for a full year. And things had gotten so bad for me that I would drive by the mailbox and I would be afraid to open it because of the bills that were going to be in there, because I had lost my job 6 months after I bought my house. It was a really, challenging time. And so I saw my house as a burden. And then in a meditation, I got this message to begin to appreciate the home. And so I started meditating on the new homeowners. I started envisioning the house being a blessing and releasing the house being a blessing to me. And don't you know, once I started doing that, my house sold like that. I mean, I got a new job offer in California. I accepted it. And I said, whether this house sells or not, I'm going to just step out on faith. So I started packing up the house, doing all these things like I was living, like I was like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. I was very much into working with the law of attraction at that time. Very much into Abraham Hicks, asking it is given. And I just was like, this is going to happen. And I began acting as if it was going to happen. And I began to appreciate the house. Well, I was supposed to leave on a Friday to move to California. Like I said, I booked my flight. I did everything. The Thursday before, like the week before I was supposed to leave, people came and looked at the house. I got the offer on the house on a Thursday, and I flew out to California the very next day. After the house sat on the market for a year, with no prospects, literally, I sold the house in 2 weeks. And they FedExed me my closing check. Miraculous. I've had so many miraculous things happen when I was in a state of appreciation. This says, an extremely effective use of your creative workshop. So this is definitely based on the law of attraction. I actually haven't used this deck in a really, really long time. This might be in the book Ask and It Is Given, the creative workshop that Abraham Hicks talks about. And it says it's to ponder the aspects you appreciate regarding your most important subjects. Using the workshop in this way accomplishes everything required for deliberate creation. Yeah, because Abraham Hicks is all about deliberate creation. In your emotion of appreciation, you are allowing that which you desire to manifest into your life experiences. Exactly. That's exactly what I said. So Isis, and Isis is all about regeneration. Her brother and lover was dead, and she resuscitated him. She brought him back to life. And you can do the same by getting into a mode of appreciation. What else do we have? Wow, look at this. Open the door. I mean, yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. When you are in a state of appreciation, you open the door to good things. And so this golden healer quartz can help you to do that. Let's see if I can do this. This is my first time with this particular setup. I keep changing the setup around, so we'll see if we can stack these. Okay. So golden healer quartz to help you open the door to new opportunities. Maybe even putting the golden healer quartz on right on your third eye, using that to meditate, maybe sleeping with it under your pillow, I'm hearing, to work in the dream time to help you bring about the changes that you want to make. Another way to open the door and to raise your frequency is to get out in nature, to spend much, much, much more time in nature, right? So even if you're in a city like me, going to the park, hugging a tree, buying a plant, spending time with animals, right? Spend time in nature. That will raise your frequency. And sharing your knowledge. So we're about to be in Aquarius season. And Aquarius is about sharing wisdom with the collective, working towards collective liberation, collective freedom as a humanitarian sign. And so not only will you sharing what you know help the collective, and it will help you to be in the frequency of Aquarius. It'll help you to work with that Aquarius energy. It's also going to raise your vibration. We have wind here for confusion. Not quite sure what that's about. I'm going to move these down. I'm feeling like well, I have been known to work with the wind. So this could be taking your concerns to the wind. Again, getting back to nature. Yeah, thank you, Spirit. I like that. Getting back to nature and actually putting your concerns on the wind. And just like how this is, right? Think of these as your thought forms, as the things that are keeping you confused, as the things that are keeping you stuck. Imagine the wind taking those things away. So as you're meditating with your golden healer quartz, you could also just imagine the wind taking away those thoughts that are keeping you stuck. Drop down in the comments and let me know if that makes sense to you. So we also have some color therapy here. I'm excited to see what color it is. Wow. So one thing is movement. So Isis says, move that body, and that will help you to raise your frequency. But also wearing green is going to help you to raise your frequency and also help you to support your heart chakra, because green is the color of the heart chakra. And we know that the heart chakra is all about the right to feel love, to give love, to be in a space of love. I'm also feeling like, and there's lots of green here, huh? Here, and even here, I'm feeling like, and I know different schools of thought say different things, but for me, Aquarius resonates. Well, Aquarius working with the second chakra can be helpful during Aquarius season, okay? Opening the heart, opening that heart, because Aquarius can be very insular. Even though they work towards the collective, they can be very stuck in their ways. They can be very stubborn. They can be very rigid. And so working to expand that heart, as a matter of fact, that's one of the things that I suggested on my Instagram channel for tips for Aquarius people, or people with heavy Aquarius placements, is to do heart opening exercises, chest opening exercises during Aquarius season to help them to be more fluid. Okay? Maybe seeing a healer. We have more green here, y'all. And we also have another sign of regeneration, the snake, shedding. shedding what no longer is useful, shedding the things that are holding you back so that you can open the door to new things. I absolutely love this message from Isis. Maybe even working with the healer. Did I say that already? Working with the healer to help you shed heavy emotions. And then finally, so this is the after tarot. And so this is the result of all this work. And this is a returning to one's self. So, in the Six of Cups is typically a card of nostalgia, a card of old emotions, possibly people from the past coming back. But what this restorative work, this really is a restorative practice, is going to help you to not just return to childhood, because childhood might have been challenging, but returning to a sense of innocence, returning to, I'm going to say this is your higher self here, even though this is, I don't know what it is in this card, but for me, this is a return to your higher self, a return to your true essence. Again, a return to innocence, a return to forgiveness of self and others, most importantly self, and a return to love. And that is what Isis is here to help you do. I mean, this literally came back full circle. We started at life restored, and we end with a return to innocence. Wow. That's amazing. That's great. That's what I have for you, Pile 1. Drop down in the comments. Let me know if you like it. And I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, pile number 2. Here we go. Let's see what Isis has in store for you. All right. So we actually have a couple of messages here for you from Isis. So we have ancient power mysteries. Hear the rattle of Isis playing. So I'm feeling very much sound therapy here. I'm going to read it though and see. Scales of balance, ancient tantra of the soul. I'm feeling like using, again, music therapy to raise your frequency. Is this my High Priestess deck? We gonna see. Hear the rattle of Isis playing. When the Lady Isis initiates a beloved into her ancient mysteries, life can become quite interesting. An initiate of Isis does not just learn new ideas as a student, but is thrown into the experience of the mysteries in real day-to-day living, so that they may be truly mastered in our lives and then utilized in service to help the lives of others too. So that one day, all beings will be healed and whole according to the will of the Divine Feminine. The rattle of Isis initiates us into the mysteries, oh my God, there it is, of sound healing and creation through vibration. This is a new deck, so I don't use it all the time, so hence my excitement and surprise. If we listen carefully with our inner ear, we can hear the sounds of the universe alive. And I actually have a ringing in my ear, like right now. I just hear the faintest little ringing in my ear. We can sense and hear with our inner ear the movement of the planets, the beating heart of Mother Earth, and the music of the goddess, guiding us through sound, helping our souls to dance and move and our lives to heal. You are guided to use words that reflect the experience you would like to create in your life. It may involve shifting how you speak. For example, rather than focusing on struggle or what is not working, focusing on the signs of life and the healing that you experience. Okay, this clearly is for me. This may also include using chant, incantation, and prayer. It may also involve singing or playing a musical instrument or using sound for healing through the voice, or another instrument such as crystal bowls, rattle keyboards, or string wood instruments, and letting the sound move you. This is so interesting because when this message came to me, and this morning when I came out of meditation, and I kept hearing this, have been guided to use sound healing myself, either actually singing, humming, chanting, and I haven't been doing it regularly, like publicly, because I'm like, oh, I can't sing. I can't sing. Nobody wants to hear my voice. But now it's like, that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. This is about using the keying into the frequency of Mother Earth, keying into the balance of Mother Earth, keying into the love of Mother Earth, keying into the hope of Mother Earth, keying into the frequency, and using it to heal other people and to balance yourself. So that is the message for you and me, is to bring in that sound healing. And when you are, this is literally what my shaman told me like 2 months ago. This is nuts that we're getting this message, but I'm so excited to share it with you. It says I can focus specifically on what I want. So what you're going to do is you're going to play music. Now, I already did start playing music and things like that when I do my rituals, using music that specifically is geared. So if I'm doing an empowering ritual or I'm doing a money ritual, I play specific music that is on that frequency of growth, of expansion, of bawling. Okay, of wealth, of riches. And so the message here is for you to do the exact same thing. Focus specifically on what you want and use music. We have Lemurian quartz here. This is like, again, my super high frequency pile, my high priests and high priestesses. Okay, we know Lemurian is an ancient mythical city. Some say it's not mythical. I don't think it's mythical. I think the Lemurians actually existed. So get yourself some Lemurian quartz, again, to tune into the frequency, to tune into those higher frequencies. And then balancing, you probably, if you're watching like things that you know are a little lower frequency, okay, you want to make sure that you're balancing that out with high energy practices while you sort of cleanse out your soul, detox your energy. Make sure that you're practicing intense spiritual hygiene, because you want to balance out those lower frequencies with the higher frequencies. All right. Because if you're finding, oh, I can meditate over here and then everything goes away, it's because your energies are not balanced. Your frequencies are not consistent. So this is a message of consistency and patience. What else we got? This is lit. I love it. So we have take risks. Take risks. Just like I just hummed a little ditty for y'all, right? That was an actual risk, okay? So you are being guided to step into your high priestesshood even more. The Lemurian quartz will also help with that. They have that as patience, but for me, for this pile, I'm looking at this Lemurian quartz to raise the frequency. And we know that's a risk. This might even mean investing more in your business. So we do have the goat here. So this also will resonate with people with Capricorn sun, moon, rising. Okay. You know, the goat climbing up the hill, moving towards your goal, no matter what the outside circumstances look like, you want to keep going. We have the observer in reverse. So basically get off of the sidelines. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you want to, again, start your own business. And right now you've been just watching other people do it. But it's time for you to create, right? You've got the crystal ball here. So it's time for you to stop observing other people and get in the game and do it yourself. And then staying in the frequency of love and understanding. So Isis is also saying that this will also raise your frequency. And it's interesting how we have this card in reverse with the hands open. And then here, it's the same almost mudra in a way. Oh my gosh. There are people driving up and down my street yelling. I'm going to leave that in there. I'm going to leave that in there. I'm going to leave in that frequency of risk and excitement. So staying in that love frequency. Oh my gosh. And then this is giving, so this flame, I talked about this in pile 1, working with the angels of the ultraviolet ray, the ultraviolet flame. I'm going to suggest that for y'all too. Isn't that funny? We have love, we have delight. What did I just say about that person riding up and down the street? I think they're on some kind of motorbike or some kind of scooter or something, and they were just like driving up and down the street in delight, right? So staying in the love frequency, staying in the delight frequency, staying in the frequency of confidence. So working with black candles, I always suggest working with black candles to absorb energy, because black does absorb. So absorbing any heavy energies, anything making you feel less confident. There's that. Wow, y'all. It's all about taking risks. Unfamiliar territory, fish out of water. Whenever we see mountains, we know that there's room for growth. Wow, this is great. And then finally, so this is the after tarot. And we have balance again. We have balance. We have the scales again. So the end result is the scales balancing out. And they're almost the same colors. They both have this red in here. Huh. So it's like you are no longer the beggar. You are the giver. Having enough resources to share and spare. I love it. I love it. I love it. No longer being the beggar, being the giver. Because you've balanced out the things that you need to balance out in your life. I love it. I'm here for it. Drop down in the comments. Sorry about all the interruptions. I'm going to leave them all in. And I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, and here we are, pile number 3. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see what Isis is talking about for y'all. This has been such a good reading. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Ooh, Divine Destiny. Path of the Divine Warrior. So Isis is calling you into your destiny, to the frequency of being a divine warrior, a spiritual warrior. There is literally somebody driving up and down the street on some little scooter, and they're going, woohoo! I love it. It's bringing me such joy. So you raise your frequency by stepping into your destiny. Pile number 2 might resonate with you, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Well, maybe a little bit. But being a divine warrior is a little different than being a high priestess. and stepping into the High Priestess energy. We'll see. I can create castles as easily as buttons. Let's see what this is. When you understand the laws, then you understand that it's not more difficult to create a castle than it is a button. They are equal. It is not more difficult to create $10. Oh, sorry. It's not more difficult to create $10 million than 100,000. It is the same application of the same law to two different intentions. So studying the law of attraction will help specifically ask, and it is given. I'm also hearing the book of Love and Creation by Paul Selig will also help you raise your frequency. Specifically, the book of Love and Creation, it actually restructured my DNA processes. I could feel it happening when I was reading that book. I actually started to channel more when I was reading that book. So I would suggest getting those two books to, raise your frequency and help you to step into this divine warriorship if you so choose. What else we got? What crystal will help to raise the frequency? Smoky quartz. So we already know quartz is a frequency lifter. Quartz is a frequency enhancer. And so smoky quartz in particular will help you to let go of feelings and things like that that are keeping you stuck in an old path or keeping you in a lower frequency. The red also that I'm seeing in here is making me feel like her red lips, is making me feel like also some root chakra energy. The red here, also working with the root, working with that root chakra, understanding that you have a right to be on the planet. Okay, you have a right to live, and that is what the root chakra is all about, right? It is all about survival, moving from being in survival mode when it's over activated, when it's over stimulated. Okay, you're constantly in a state of survival, and we know that being in a state of survival is not living. Okay, it's really something here about keeping yourself limited, keeping yourself tight, holding yourself back, restricting yourself, for sure. And that is something that is keeping you in a lower frequency than you actually need to be. So the message here is to, you can be the sage, you can be the smart person, you can be all of that, but you also have this wild side too. Take me for a ride, boy. Tell me a wild side, boy. I wanna get wild. Maybe playing that song, okay? Playing a little Normani, celebrating our good sis, okay? You can be spiritual and you can let your wild side out. Let your wild side out, okay? We have self-destruction here. You're headed for self-destruction. You're not headed for self-destruction. However, that just came in my head. But we have a snake here. So we have this, again, regeneration. As I said with pile 1, Isis is all about regeneration. And we have even more red here. So this 100% is giving me major root chakra vibes. Perhaps doing a fire ritual, burning, writing down the things that keep you feeling undeserving, unworthy, unlovable, and burning that. So being in a constant state, excuse me, of ritual, of destroying those belief systems. I would do this every new moon for the next 6 months. And then we have community here in reverse. So there might be people around you that keep you in that old frequency. They might be in your family. We have this in reverse. So perhaps distancing yourself while you're doing this work, while you're practicing being wild, right? Maybe there's people in your life that are like, oh, I don't remember you being like that. Constantly reminding you of who you used to be, right? Not supporting you in the person that you are now. Yeah. That person might have a heavy Venus placement. They could be a Taurus or a Libra, or have a heavy Venus placement somewhere in their chart. Or you could be a Taurus or a Libra or have a heavy Venus placement in your chart. They could be a Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, or have a heavy Capricorn placement in their chart. Okay? Maybe you've just outgrown them. You know, maybe you used to actually do wild things with that person, and then you got on your spiritual journey and you cut them off. And by cutting them off, you cut off the wild part of yourself too, the primal part, okay? If that's the case, again, you want to allow this part of you to live. What color will help? What color? Oh, look at that. Yellow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful yellow. This hunger and this get wild is really, really speaking to me. And this let it go. Letting go of the things that are keeping you from tapping into this wild side. There's a part of you that is hungry for that wildness. Okay. I love having my little selenite wand there. It makes like the perfect little thing. I love this. I love this new setup. Ah! I love this setup. This yellow is also making me feel like solar plexus. Tapping into that thing that you want, that thing that you want to create. So also wearing yellow, putting maybe some lemon essential oil, some orange essential oil on your solar plexus to like activate that solar plexus. Maybe getting some orange calcite to activate that solar plexus, so that, you know, that solar plexus is all about creation, putting what you want into the world, stepping into your divine destiny. So also doing some solar plexus work I think would be amazing. How do we balance being vulnerable with being a divine warrior? How do you remain vulnerable while you're shedding old skin, shedding old parts of yourself, shedding people? That is the question for you. How can you do that? Right? It is the guidance, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And then as we get to sort of the most likely outcome, the end of this story, this is my wishes come true card. So we have some wishes actually coming true as a result of this work. And it is work. Recreating the self is work. Wow. So we have, again, this is the after tarot. So after you do this work and you've got these wishes coming true, we do have a sense of satisfaction. Okay. This is a card, I'm really feeling this Capricorn influence, because the Devil card is signified by Capricorn. I am curious about, it's like reveling in the new you, but not becoming attached, not becoming addicted to anything, okay? Not becoming addicted to anything. Not leaning too heavy on, yeah, we want to get wild, but we got this snake again. There's so much regeneration here. There's so much shedding here. So it's like, yeah, we definitely want to get wild. We definitely want to do the things that are going to move you on this path, but not to the point where, oh, I get it, where you go to another extreme. Right? I like that. Where you're so stuck in your ways, but in a different way now. Like now you're like a dogmatic preacher. Right? Where you're like literally forcing people to follow your destiny. I get it. Thank you, Spirit. Right? And then we have the Star as the final card. Bathing in the primordial waters, having a sense of peace, having a sense of balance. You take and you give. You nurture and you are nurtured by the stars. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love this reading. I do want to read and see what it says about the star, though. The star is a light in the darkness, shining with hope, inspiration, and guidance. Under the light of a starry constellation, a woman bathes nude. She uses 2 clay pitchers, one to pour over her head, the other to water the earth. In the distance, the ibis spreads its wings and flies into the night sky. So that literally told me nothing. I just got this deck this weekend. So I like to check it anyway, but yeah, I know what it is. I love this. I love this. You're immersed in your divinity. You're not immersed in your addictions. I love that. Thank you, Isis. That's what I have for you, Pile 3. Drop down in the comments. Let me know how it was for you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.